And if you're traveling outside of the U.S., there's a good chance your personal insurance won't cover the rental car. If that's the case, the best option may be to go with the rental company's insurance plan. It's quiet here at Danbury Airport despite a hectic day for investigators trying to piece together what happened between here and where that plane crashed off Long Island. And if your license plate looks like this one here, if this passes, you can expect to have to register with the town of Hamden at some point next year. You can see just how high the water was by looking at the water line on the wall there. Terry says he hasn't heard from MDC since this morning and is of course hoping that they'll pay for all this damage. The chase began in this Marshall's parking lot, eventually taking officers down Route 6 through downtown New Bedford, and finally here to Carlisle Street, where officers finally caught up to the woman nearly 5 miles away. 1 week after that shocking confession, police are now telling us that Melissa Milan's murder suspect is now in custody. 3 years in the making, Waterbury commuters tell us that the third lane on I-84 is going to be a welcome addition to their commute. Certainly a lot of music fans coming out to the Xfinity Center tonight to see their favorite artists take the stage, but for a lot of people, tonight is really about the farmers. From Washington to right here in Windsor Locks, Sergeant John Chapman certainly will not be forgotten. Hundreds turning out right here to remember the fallen airmen. Police are now identifying the man shot by Hartford PD as Dennis Lawrence after he was arrested yesterday in his St. Francis hospital room. You can hear in that police radio transmission the moments when officers entered 39-year-old Lawrence's home on Garden Street, demanding he drop a knife. Police tell us he was holding a woman hostage when they responded to a domestic disturbance and ignoring the officers' calls to drop his weapon. That's when police say one of the officers shot him. He was then taken to St. Francis Hospital where he had surgery and was later arrested. Lawrence is now facing charges including unlawful restraint, assault, and threatening, among several others. And no word tonight on Lawrence's condition, but he is expected to appear in court on Monday morning. Reporting in Hartford, I'm Matt Fortin, NBC Connecticut. Rough waters and tragedy here at Candlewood Lake in Brookfield, where a boating accident left one man dead. The State Department of Energy and Environmental Protection has not released any info as to who this man was, but they have said he was on board a 17-foot boat when it capsized. Officers responding shortly after receiving reports at 12:30 this afternoon. They recovered 2 people from the boat, including another man who was not hurt. Officials have not yet said what led up to this deadly accident. But as you can see, it is really choppy on that lake, and that is thanks to the 45-mile-per-hour wind gusts we saw today. And any boaters on Long Island Sound should know that there was a small craft advisory still in effect tonight. Reporting in Brookfield, I'm Matt Fortin, NBC Connecticut. Here at Hamden's Micro Beer Bar, people are starting to stroll in, grabbing a beer or cider for a good cause, and raising a glass to raise one Hamden roof. Quinnipiac students drive by it every day. The Jonathan Dickerman House and Cider Mill on Mount Carmel Avenue lies just feet from QU's campus. It stood the test of time as a piece of Hamden's history for 226 years, until May 15th.
It's a day riven in our memories.
May's storms caused damage across town, and as president of the Hamden Historical Society, Ken Minkema, explains, that damage was quite significant to the Dickerman House.
2 trees fall, I think it was, on the Dickerman House, right down the middle. A tree fell on the cider mill right in the middle and basically collapsed the roof and the side walls. We've been working to stabilize the house to protect it as much as possible from further damage.
But it's proving to be expensive. Minkema says it'll cost $250,000 to fix the house.
So, looking for help.
That's where Micro Beer Bar and manager Mike Dwyer come in.
We have 6 ciders on draft. Every cider we sell, $1 is going to go towards, rebuilding of the Dickerman House and the cider mill.
The Micro Beer Bar staff getting ready for a big night at their Hamden location.
Everything made on that keg is going to go towards the rebuilding.
Management encouraging locals to raise a glass to raising a roof.
It's a good time here, and if we can, benefit other people in the community as well. It makes it that much better.
Ken Minkema hoping for a big turnout tonight.
Because it's part of the community fabric. It's part of the community memory.
And if you want to come help out too, this fundraiser is happening until 10 o'clock. With a lot of drinks to choose from, it certainly is a fun way to help preserve a piece of history. Reporting in Hamden, I'm Matt Fortin, QNN. Scary moments this morning for a bus full of Princeton students on their way to a Yale-Princeton football game. Police say the brakes on that bus failed, sending them careening off an I-95 on-ramp and into what was a West Haven glass shop.
He saw the bus driver trying to stamp on the brakes, but the bus wasn't stopping.
Sonia Freesia braced for impact as the Coach USA bus slammed into Anderson Glass Shop, right off I-95.
The windows broke and stuff went through the bus.
That's what happened after the brakes failed, forcing the driver to steer off exit 43 down this off-ramp and eventually landing into the glass shop.
We have a Sharps team from Yale. Several doctors are here. They're checking them out on scene here.
4 students were taken to the hospital along with the driver, who sustained the worst injuries.
The only person who was who seemed to be in serious danger was the driver himself.
George England describes how he stepped in to help the driver.
He was trapped under this board with nails coming through the top of it, and so after it happened, we lifted that up off of him, and somehow he was still alive and talking to us.
My workers called me and says there's a bus in the shop.
John Anderson's glass shop may be destroyed, but he says it's lucky the accident happened when it did.
That's our fabricating shop, and fortunately it's a weekend and we weren't fabricating anything.
In a statement, the bus company says Coach USA is fully cooperating with the police in their investigation. Safety of our passengers, employees, and fellow road users is our top priority. And as to how these passengers are feeling tonight,
it makes going to a football match seem not very important at all. Yeah, I'm just miss my family and want to go home.
West Haven police said the DMV will be investigating exactly what led up to this crash. We did reach out to Coach USA asking how old this bus was and when the last time it was inspected, but we are waiting to hear back. Reporting in West Haven, I'm Matt Fortin, NBC Connecticut. With Halloween next week, the Department of Cultural and Global Engagement is telling Quinnipiac students to be mindful of their costume choices. And I'm Matt Fortin. We begin tonight with serious allegations against a Quinnipiac professor. A video posted to the website called Pop Squad appears to show Thomas Coe attempting to meet up with a minor after sexually explicit conversations. And if you're having an issue with your landlord, housing experts tell us the best thing to do is to take photos of the issues and report them to the city. Matt Fortin, NBC 10 Boston.